Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gearblocks. Continuing some more work on the transport truck, which is leaning outside for some reason. By the way, someone commented that since the motors are attached to each other and facing different ways, they need to be reversed. And they aren't. But the confusing thing is, it still moves. So I'm going to change these so that if these ones are rotating to the right, well, to their left, which is the right from this perspective, this one should be rotating to its right and right from this perspective. So hopefully, yes, it's still working. So the motors can overpower themselves or each other, but I'm not quite sure which way they need to be. So I will check that at some point. First thing I'm going to do is really quick swap out the gearbox or the gearboxes because I made a different one for them. Or I didn't get around to really making a new one for this. It's where is this still welded on? I fixed the issue with the pistons for shifting. Go in here and grab do 3-speed without the case. And see it now has a small piston on it instead of a large one, which is much better. So now I gotta stick with these in instead of that. So I also feel it will be easier to just do it this way. Actually, I go like this. I would like to shorten it by one more, but that I think it'll work if I shorten it by one more actually. Other than this part here. Either way, I need to remove that. I'm really tempted to shorten it. One, two, one. That there. Shorten this one a little bit. So. Lock this one back into play. Should actually should connect now. It is. Okay. And then I need a support for this gear here. So I'm just gonna go like super quick and simple. MSI do that. Oh, okay. Now that gear is supported for when it's in third. And then I need to change this to C for now. And this should just plop back in. I might need to narrow cross members. Let's see. Yep. Okay, that one's also shortened a little bit, so I'm going to have to adjust a couple things. So, and then it's still being weird for some reason. Anything on top? No. Okay. Oh, there we go. It fits now. Oh. And I need to, oops, this, there, oops, there we go. Okay. And lock everything into same ratios and everything, same gearbox. It's just as I mentioned before, I wanted to the shorter piston on instead because it's shorter and I didn't need the long one, and it's less glitchy with the short one. I now have to move this forwards a little bit, which is in a way a good thing. So, and then I will just put a quick support. Where did that come from? Probably that one. Yeah, I just need to add a quick support for that. Like so. Oops. And I need to make it heal. Plastic. Here we go. Cool. Here we go. Much better. I would also like to lift it a little bit, but we'll see by how much when I put the fifth wheel on. At the moment, actually, I also kind of needed to lift it to get the fenders and stuff proper. I will need to change how the steering is done, because I would like to have cab suspension, but I kind of forgot about it, as you can tell by how little space that I left. So, it should still be doable. If not, I will lift the cab up a little bit. But at the moment, I need to lower this stuff. So, trying to keep all the links and whatnot straight, I think I will just take it off from here and then lower it. That should just be the front end. Boom. Okay, that should be the entire front end now. Ooh, still extra bits. Why is that all selecting that too? Because of... There we go. Okay. So, these just go up by one. Alrighty, here we go. Just like so. And then, instead of that, this is... Oh. That needs to move up one more. I'm going to extend this by one so I can get it all right spot. Alright, yeah, that looks a bit better. I guess I should fix this side as well. There we go. Okay, and then I need to fix steering and shock bar. Which I'm just gonna lengthen things for now. Like so. That's how it's going to stay for now. So I feel like going back and adjusting it. Because, as I mentioned before, the straighter your links and whatnot, the better. Alright, back, however, might take a little bit of finagling. Also, I have to switch which side this differential is on because it's backwards. It rotates backwards. Playing around with it off camera. Rear end is held in with a lot less than I thought it was. Okay. Move the wheels out of the way for now. I didn't need to take the wheels off, but it's easy. To connect that, this just comes out as one piece. And I need to make sure it's all welded together, so it all comes out together properly. What else is it? There we go, that looks like everything. And it is. So now, I want to do this. Because I could just lift this up by one. But I could also put a cross member in between there. Which might be a good idea. Let's just try a couple cross members for now. Right. Weld it together. Or not weld it, but you know what I mean. And then, where'd it go? It'll cooperate. There-ish. Back one. Nope. Good. Yeah, that should work for now. And then I can just do some fancy stuff with the gears to get them where I need them to make sure this locked in place as well. And then just put a couple cross members. That was easy. Okay. This to get the right space, but as I mentioned, it is backwards. I have to change it. Okay. So, this off, and then this, like that, goes on top. And then I have to get this over there somehow. With this super short drive shaft. Could shorten it a bit more, but then it'll affect the movement of the suspension. I could just use the bigger gears and shift it over into the middle, which I didn't want to do, but I'm going to for now. That will change the final drive ratio, but everything does need to be shifted over at the moment, so whatever. And then I gotta connect this again, which should be fine. Ooh, that doesn't touch anymore. Okay. I wish we had chains. Like proper in-game chains that would work with the gears. That'd be so handy. Without having to manually make them. Have it be all like laggy and stuff. So for now, I'm going to just do this to get it working. And as I said, I can worry about how it actually looks later. There we go. This should work. Oh yeah, I took all the wheels off it. Even though I didn't really need to, it was just easier to see everything. Come on, click on the right spot. Okay. So now, if I grab, I think it's the 32 tooth that I need, and it's the low, that in there, and the upper link is hitting it. Of course it is. That's another reason I like using smaller ones. Okay, I guess I could bring that link back up again, but I really don't want to. So, I'm going to now, even though it's going to look probably horrible, it'll work. Really. It doesn't want to. Oh, because... There we go. Okay. It's still not working right. Okay. Hold that on. Weld that. Or lock it, whatever. It looks like it's all working. Alright, that should still work. Even though it's a little weird. I'm hoping there's enough space to do it with this one. I could turn them around, but that'll look weird. I don't want to. Actually. Oh, yeah. This one's good. Pain in the butt as well. And then this cross member is in the way. Of course it is. Oh my goodness. And we put this one on. Yeah, the drivetrain should work now. This needs to come up here. This on. And yeah, it is not gonna work like that. Because that is a large spring. I could shorten it by one. It'll make the axle act a little weird. But again, just for now, to get it working. Why can that not move? Oh, because of that. Okay, there we go. Okay, this should work now. Ooh, what's it doing? Oh, it's detached, okay. Now it should work. Nope. What does not want to? Really? But I think I might have done. Get rid of this for now. And see what happens. Still not turned. Okay, it's. Oh, I know what I did. This support. Oh, it is turning. That one can't turn. There we go. Okay. It's driving backwards now, but hey, it works. Go through and toggle these. And it should reverse the direction. There we go. Things are no longer backwards. The wheels are at a much better height. Oh, really? I wish the dogs would stop barking for once. For some reason, it really does not like when I do drive shafts like this. But with the suspension movement, I need to. One moment. Okay. So, what is causing this new issue? I'm almost certain it is. So I'm going to pull this out and just kind of attach it somewhere so I don't lose it. Ooh. Let's just stick it there. Wow. Those can go on a lot more of an angle than I thought they could. Alright, so now it shouldn't have any binding issues or anything. Wow, it even pushed it up that. Okay, let's just go forwards. Okay, so it's working fine now. So yeah, it's the slip joint. So I will remove it for now, but I would really like to have that to be able to slip like this. This can just go, I guess. I hate when this happens. See, this is why I quit working on my big green 8x8, because I couldn't get a drive shaft set up that would actually work for how I was trying to do it. But this should be enough. It's, yeah, it's not like it's an off-road vehicle or anything, so it doesn't have to have a ton of, you know, flex or anything. Actually, the less it flexes from side to side, the better. Which reminds me, I still have to put sway bars on it. So, sway bars will likely be next episode. I also need to shorten the frame rails. Just behind front wheel, or the rear wheels. I think that'll be fine. Okay. So now that it's actually properly working, I can finally start finishing the body and so on. The hood I'm going to attach here, but I would like to shorten the front frame rail a little bit. What all is locked onto the front frame rail? Just those. And then that's. I'm going to shorten it to the end of the motor so that I can put a half round there and get the hood to open the way it should. Just opening forwards. Okay, this can all be locked in place now. This will end up replaced with something else at some point, most likely, or with the hinge so that I can put tab on some kind of suspension. But that'll come probably near the end. Sure, it's locked in place because it's working how I want it to, other than the steering. I don't like how I've got the steering set up, but whatever. And then the bodywork will likely just be plastic. Keep the weight down, and it doesn't need to be too. The main structure that counts more, and then battery placement. I'm thinking of hanging batteries down under here. But 200 kilowatt is too big. I could just tuck it up under here if it would cooperate, but I think you get my idea. I bring this down. Let's go there. Putting the battery on the very, very bottom isn't the greatest idea because, you know, ground clearance and stuff, but it will also help keep the center of gravity a bit lower. And then, for the sake of, you know, fixing things, it makes it a bit easier. So I think I'll leave it like that for now. Because Either do that or use a 50 kilowatt for each motor, and then a separate one of the little ones, for the rest of the controls. Which I kind of like doing that idea better. As on a normal transport truck, your fuel tanks kind of hang off the side, off the frame rails, and then your steps and stuff to get in and out of the truck, so on, are usually attached to gas tanks. So doing it this way is a bit more accurate. It's still 200 watts, but it's separate batteries, one for each, as I just mentioned, and then I can use this 2 kilowatt hour battery for the main controls and stuff. That's a 3 wide gap. It's just a pain trying to figure out where to put it because of size. So that can go there for now. Good enough. Alright. That is, unfortunately, all I've got time for at the moment. I could go for a little bit longer like I tend to on this build, but I should get to my other recording because I've got stuff to do, like, appointment-wise. So I need to get stuff done sooner than later. But I think once I put the 5th wheel on, it should raise it up enough for the trim. I feel like the frame rails should be at the top of the wheels, but if I go any more, it'll kind of start to look weird. That makes sense? So, yeah. This will likely overall end up taking longer than the Jeep did. And the Jeep took me like 2 months, I think. A month or two. So, for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, these Jeeps. Just the base 4-door took me like 2 months to build. And then this is the other 8x8 that I was talking about, the green one. And as you can see, I did the same thing for the rear drive. For these drive shafts. My speaking isn't working. Words, no. But yeah, it can't handle the torque. And this only has 2 electric motors in it, not 4. So, yeah. If anyone has a good drive shaft design that is like a slip yoke eliminator kind of thing, I forget exactly what it's called, but they do it so you don't need a slip yoke. Typically the drive shaft goes into the back of the gearbox, transmission, whatever you want to call it, transfer case even. And then the yoke, the part that the U-joint is on, so this part, we'll say, going forwards, typically goes into the gearbox, but it's just some splines that hold it together and transfer the rotational energy. There's nothing keeping it in the gearbox, like front to back. So if you drop your suspension out enough, you'll drop the drive shaft and it'll be dragging and dangling from the front of the differential. So instead of doing that, in vehicles where they know there will be a chance of that happening, they make the drive shaft change length rather than it sliding in and out of the gearbox, the tail housing. But can't really do that back here because of spacing. So I'll have to figure something out. And then, yeah. Anything else I really feel like I need to do before I end off this video? Just gonna do this really quick. I think that's pretty much all I can do today without really getting into anything else because um next is like the body work and then stuff like that. So I'm thinking the hood alone will take me another entire episode. So yeah, I'm just gonna end this one here, I guess. As usual, if you have any tips or tricks or questions or anything, really, feel free to leave it in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Yeah, once the fifth wheel goes on, that should be okay.